Kablam! Trigger warning. In this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the desire to not exist anymore. We're also going to be talking about how that can actually be a really powerful thing if you learn how to surrender in the right way so you can let go of those feelings. Before I get into it, Alison, this screen is actually my partner's screen. She has it because she also does, I guess, similar stuff to me, coaching and stuff. And she has a higher consciousness when it comes to interior decorating than me. let's just be honest. Like if you watched my live videos back in 2015, like my apartment was just this barren wasteland. Like high consciousness in the heart when it comes to style. But something I'm working on is my consciousness when it comes to interior design, because Jesus Christ, I don't necessarily put a lot of effort into interior design. I'm learning though. I'm learning. Anyway, I want to share a lot of personal stories. I'm always trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes because then I can share them to Instagram TV without too much editing. But I want to share some stories today about my own journey when it came, I can't even use the word, suicide? Those thoughts. That's why I say trigger warning, because if you are feeling like, if you feel like you've got any thoughts when it comes to, let's just call it not existing anymore, and that's too much for you, do not watch this video. Do not watch this video because you might be triggered and it might really make you feel really bad. But if you are feeling confident enough, or if you are post those thoughts, fantastic. Anyway, so growing up, I used to put a lot of mental and emotional value. I don't even know whether, let's be honest, I don't know where those thoughts started. When I was a kid, maybe when I was 18, I used to fantasize about not existing anymore. And as an adult, I do not know where those thoughts started. As I surrender, as I let go, as I emotionally heal, I'm almost transported back to those times, and it's like, what the hell was I thinking? But I do not know where those thoughts start. And usually they can start from places of, I'm trapped, I want out, all of this sort of stuff. It's a fantasy of escape, it's a fantasy of control. But depending on the person, we all have it for different reasons. The reason why I bring this up today was because, I think it was last night, I'm lying in bed, I'm exhausted, I've had a massive day, I've had very little sleep. Last night, and I'm about to fall asleep. What I normally do when I go to bed, what I normally do at every other point of the day, I just want you to see this cat just quickly. Little cat in a box, he's doing his job. He's tearing up the box. But what I normally do pretty much every second of every day is I am in almost a constant state of meditation. If you're talking to me, I'm doing it. If I'm recording these videos, I'm doing it. I'm very aware of what is going on inside my body, the sensations, the feelings that are going on inside my body. I'm so glad I caught that on tape. I'm very aware of the sensations going on inside my body. And what happens is I am aware of those feelings. I try and locate those feelings within me, and then I surrender to those feelings, meaning I allow myself to fully feel them. I let go of all resistances to them, allow myself to fully feel them, and usually they pass, they transpire, they evolve, they elevate to the next stage. So if you've been a fan of my videos and you've been hearing me talk about the weight loss via meditation thing, right? That was generally this idea that we could modify or create a higher consciousness around our food habits to create the body we deserve. So what I was doing was basically I'd eat some salami and I'd be very aware of my feelings and my sensations, and I'd surrender to those feelings. So that might be that I eat this salami and I feel like, ooh, yum salami. So then I elevate that. I surrender to that, ooh, yum salami. But then I notice that there's also feelings of that's too much. That's too much. So I surrender to those feelings, and usually you with food, for example, what I've noticed is we end up eating more healthily more automatically because we're more aware of the effects that food has on our body. Now, how does this relate? Well, last night I was lying in bed. There are some cat shenanigans going on around. You can't see it, but they're all just meowing and running up and down the stairs. Last night, I was lying in bed and still very aware that there was this feeling of, I wish, like a relic. I often call them relics, like relics of time gone by. A feeling of, I don't want to be here. And to me, I'm thankful I have this knowledge, and hopefully, you'll be thankful you have it too now, if you haven't already heard it before, that it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have these feelings because when we let them go, when we surrender them, when we let them pass, we make space for such deep... So my whole hand is shaking. This is a very emotional topic. We make such space for such deep, new change, new space for our heart to be something more. So I identified the feelings. Like step one, identify the feeling. Notice where in your body do you feel this. I felt that feeling somewhere here, like a hollowness in my chest. So what do? We surrender to it. Now the reason why I say this is a interesting topic, because when it came to surrendering depression, it took me years because I didn't know how to fucking do it. That's why it's like coaching. That's why like message me personally if this is something you're going through, because sometimes it's not the thing, it's how we think about the thing. I'll explain that in a second. I've got 3 minutes left, so I'll try and do my best. But basically, once I had surrendered to this feeling of not wanting to be around, I realized, like once that passed and I fully let it go, I came to the conclusion that the denial of, like wanting to end one's life is the denial of life itself. We are rejecting life. We do not want it for one reason or another. We want maybe control instead or whatever. But once we've surrendered to that feeling, we let it pass. It's no longer an issue. So when we let go of that feeling, we're actually letting go of a lot of barriers and blockages towards life itself. So last night, as I was surrendering this feeling, I became very aware that there is a deeper thirst for life that wants to manifest, and that these thoughts that I've had for my whole life, on and off as an adult, more as a child, were basically almost inherited, were a means of control, were a layer upon a thirst for life that I did not know I had. So I'm sharing this to you, that if you are someone who is going through similar thoughts, that my guess is deeper down there is a part of you that wants more, but there is a struggle, there is a frustration, and we are stopping ourselves from being who we are truly meant to be for one reason or another. So we must surrender, we must let go, we must elevate our consciousness when it comes to these things. And then my last thing I want to share before I end this video is, I said sometimes it's not the thing, it's how we think about the thing. Sometimes we have to surrender ourselves to hating those feelings first. We have to let those feelings pass. We have to let them run their cycle. So if you're like, I want to not be here on this earth, but then you think that those thoughts are bad, you must surrender to those feelings of feeling those thoughts are bad. Or no, I don't want to think this way. You must surrender to those feelings that I don't want to think this way. You must let them pass, because then eventually you will be healed. You will be whole. Your life will elevate and transgress to that next level, so you can be the fucking person you were meant to be. I can be the person I was meant to be. This is success through surrender. That we are becoming the person we want to be through emotional healing, through letting go, through surrender, through loving everything of what it is. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did get something out of it, let me know. And if you didn't, don't let me know. No, you can let me know or whatever. Again, thanks for being brave.